Everything that happens is designed to screw us over.
You ain't got to lie. You ain't got to
And I'll go ahead and open up with that. I don't even know if anybody's here yet, but I'll go ahead and open up with that. Everything and everyone is here to screw us. Should change the name of the live stream to that.
True that. Pop out that chat.
Yeah, I have no
Let me
fear.
go hit. I'm gonna go hit that like button.
Porch Monkey. Hello? Hello?
I haven't even pulled up the stream yet. I'm horrible.
What up, everybody?
Share this video.
Welcome back.
You got mail.
Yeah, we have something kind of in the news here in this next couple of days.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Wait a minute. Are we in control of Aaron's live stream and he's gone?
We are.
Oh, this could be
Yeah.
bad. I wonder if he's gonna come back.
He'll
Are we
probably
actually
come back in to
are we
finish what
still
he was
live?
saying.
Are we still going?
We're live.
Yeah,
we're live.
still
He's gone.
I bet he's watching like, no, what happened? You guys need to hang up. What if he can't come back?
That's his problem.
No, he'll be back.
Ray,
we
There
need
he
to
is.
take the
Oh, Aaron's the host now. He made it. Woo! We handled it while you were gone, man. I was getting nervous. Are you back?
Somebody commented they got
Yeah,
to
I'm
A-Run.
back.
Jiminy crickets.
What'd you do? Hang up on yourself?
I closed out the wrong GD window, man. Goodness
Great.
gracious. There we go.
Too many tabs
Boom.
open.
Yeah, too many tabs open. Christ.
Yeah, you gotta clean him.
Oh.
You have to clean him out before you start the live stream.
I
Otherwise-
know.
But you might
know.
screen share by accident, and we'll be able to see the things that we're not supposed to see.
Green chat. They say, DS is already sleeping. No, DS he had his babushka on.
He's
What
on
up?
That's Muhammad,
What up,
man.
Dave?
Pushka.
Zeke, what up, Zeke? Yeah, I hear everybody's been getting their Banks pod. The ones that they've ordered, the ones that everybody's been waiting. I know everybody's been waiting for the Derringer, but soon, hopefully, that will be trickling out. But his wife pulled his plug. That's funny. We have something big in Detroit, in this location in Michigan, where if you guys haven't been paying attention to the news, the strike that is potentially looming for the United Auto Workers. Oh my gosh, look at DF and the Ford, GM, and FCA. So I don't know. It's going to be kind of unfortunate for all of the parts depots and getting parts allocated, and even the people that are working in those depots. It's going to be kind of a pain in the butt. And fact of the matter is, if we're not going to be able to get parts, we're not going to be able to fix your truck. That's going to be a problem. And that
It's going to
ultimately
be standing there.
Yeah. That's just not going to be here. This is going to be all over the United States. Anybody who's with the big three and in the UAW, it's not Roger, you've been in a union before. It's
Indeed.
got to pay your union dues.
I am currently unemployed for the last 144 days due to the WGA strike in my industry. So it's been a fun time. Let me tell you.
That's not cool. That's not cool.
I start a new job on Monday, in fact.
That's not cool. Nobody wants to go on strike, but as it be, it's something we're going to have to potentially go through. And if you think we're having problems getting parts now with stuff being back ordered, I just actually ordered a transmission for a fella, and there's no ETA. It's if I don't have an ETA now, gosh.
You know, outside of the rules of the dealerships and warranty, I don't think that the parts supply chain will be that affected if there's, I mean, think about it, because let's say there's a transmission on international back order. Well, You can't get a new one. You can't find a rebuilder that knows how to build them. You can't get the rebuild kit to send it off to a rebuilder, but you can go down to the salvage yard and find one out of a wrecked truck.
True.
Put that in. Like there's ways around this kind of stuff. You just got to be clever in how you do it. But unfortunately, in the dealership setting, you can't even buy something from Napa.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter if the belt you're looking for doesn't exist and they don't have an ETA for 18 months. You can't warranty something from it with an aftermarket part.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes we face that. What are you gonna? We don't make the parts at the shop. You know.
And see what transmissions too. Like, even if you could go pull it out of a junkyard, you still have to program the strategy. The strategy. You know what I'm talking. Yeah, you got me saying that every time.
Yes.
Sorry, my wife will start to stumble her words. I'm like, words. But no, you got to program the shift strategy. So, and that's usually located on the valve body, where you'd have to pull the pan down and look at that anyway. But it's a big hassle. I see what you're saying, but it can be done.
Make sure you share this stream because it's getting controversial tonight.
Yeah.
it is.
What do you think about that? 32 hours equals 40.
Well,
It's called work-life balance.
I'm maybe not a good person to ask because I would take that. I'd be like,
Me
yeah.
too. I mean,
42 hours.
well, look at
what are they?
look-
They want 40 hours worth of pay in 32 hours.
look at what the
Right? We don't
like.
need to hear.
Look
We
at what
don't
I
need that.
get. Look what I get when I get off parent leave. I get 40-hour pay for 30 hours worth of work.
Why?
Okay,
How
but-
is it?
What's the
How's that
program?
any different?
Or are they talking about 32 hours worth of pay for 40 hours of work?
No, well, I don't know what's going on with this one. Like, what is 32 equals 40? Is that what they want?
They want to work 32 hours and get a full-time paycheck.
You know what's it's probably contingent on you actually show up for that 32 hours, maybe. Like, say you don't, like, once you show up, then you get 40 hours. But if you no show on like the last day, then you only get two days pay.
Hang on, I kind of feel like I need to be opposing this. So why do they demand
Because
30?
right now
Why?
they're working, a lot of them are working 90 days straight with no work-life balance. So they want more work-life balance. So that's one way they're going to ask for it is reduced weeks.
Okay.
I get that,
But-
but that's also going to put us in more of a bind. You know what I mean? Because there's already not enough workers because nobody wants to work anymore.
That's true.
So
And-
why not attract more workers by just raising wages?
I mean, they're asking
Well-
for 36% increase.
Well, Ray, if you raise the wages too much, then does that mean that people are going to work more if you raise the wages?
Would you?
Because if you're talking
Sure.
about plant work, it's not the most rewarding work. The higher the wage, the worse the attendance. Because once you reach the amount of money you need, for a lot of people, not everybody, but
Right.
for a lot of staff, enough of the staff to where it'll screw up that line. There's people that can get by on 2 days of work or 3 days of work. So they work for enough hours throughout the year. They
All
get
right.
to a whatever amount. I never really participated in it, but you get to enough hours and you go down, you fill out some paperwork, and all of a sudden you only need to work 2 or 3 days a week based on whatever condition that you have, Family Medical Care Act. And then there's a huge population in that plant that only works 2 days a week and is off for 2 days a week. They only get paid for those 2 days, but they make
But
enough.
You're
money.
telling me that's all that they need is I'm going to go to work for 3 days and make my few $100, and then I'll just take the rest of the week off, not do anything. And the more money they make, the less they want to go to work.
Well, there's a lot of people in there that if you just raise the wages enough, then you'll cause more absenteeism because they can make the money that they need to get by unless
See,
No,
that's
way.
where management and supervisors need to come in and say, okay, look, you're not being very productive. You're paying this amount of money. If you're not going to do it, we're going to find somebody else who will.
All they got to do is pay him flat rate.
Supervisors can't do that inside
Yeah,
of the
oh,
plant.
Just pay him flat rate. Problem solved. Pay the
But
factory
yes,
You
flat
know
rate.
what? That would be
No, no,
really
no.
good. Like I would like
Pay
that
'em.
in the plant. Like if it's able to track you, like your downtime and stuff. Then again, sometimes it goes down without your fault. So
remember when you were in the plant and like if you had an issue, there was all these chain of commands and events that had to take place and written up and going home and then contact your union rep and all this stuff. It's like it was such a hassle, I feel like when you were in the plant, when you had like a problem or you had to go,
do
deal
you
with
mean?
something other than, what your job task was for the day. Like when somebody like what's it, cousin or whatever his name was,
Oh,
like all
yeah,
that.
most of those issues were more like not related to work. So I could go into work and kind of mess up something, not a big deal. If that were to happen, they'd be like, "Hey, you messed up." But
No,
if
that's
somebody,
a big deal on our end.
no, I'm just saying. Well, when you work when you do assembly, mostly for the most part, 90% of the time, if you mess something up, it's generally just going to slow down production, but not cause a huge problem. Sometimes, or like that actually gets to the customer. Sometimes somebody's doing something weird where they're causing an issue that can actually make it to the customer. But most of the time it's all production related because when you think about what they're doing in the plant, they do such a small amount of the truck that it's just hard to actually it's hard for it to be something that gets to the customer. I mean,
Most of
And
that
this-
stuff gets to go to Roush, and we get to fix their fuck ups.
yeah,
And
they
this is
catch
how recalls are started.
they catch mostly everything, but you do such a small port, like you put like a few components on the truck, and then 5 other people touch it. So when you see a lot of these issues and stuff with the vehicles, mostly it's not related to one particular person. Not saying that it's not possible, but for the most part, it's not just one guy's messing something up for the most part.
Yes, you run a landscape company, right?
Yeah.
You have commercial accounts.
Yeah.
Do your account managers have you take before and after photographs of the site to prove that you were
I've
there?
done that before.
Okay.
For when I've worked for other companies, I've done that before.
Just get
Like as a
just get the line guys to do it. Have them have a little digital camera hanging off the string or whatever, and every time they complete their task, bam. And all you need is a network that integrates all those photographs in, and you'll have
There's some
live.
softwares that do that.
Yeah, and it proves, hey, I did my job the right way, and here's my pictures. Bam, this is plugged in, that's bolted down, this, that, and the
You're-
other, and here you go.
You're
No,
talking
no,
like
no.
warehouse
That's
work
not
where
gonna
warehouse
that's not gonna
employees.
fly on the assembly line.
No, can't do that. Okay.
No, because it's too now don't get me wrong, there's probably some places where they're taking some pictures and stuff like that, but it's too fast paced for you to actually be able to snap a picture. You gotta the workload in that plant is so different from anything else that I've ever done. It is hard work. You gotta move for the entire time. Like you gotta move the entire time you're there. And there's no other way to burn as many calories through your body that I've ever experienced compared to working in a plant. It's pretty interesting.
Wow. Okay.
So you're doing like 600 units a day. There's no pictures. If you just one little sticker that I was installing, I was doing the keys. Me and Aaron were talking about who trained you on the keys. One little sticker was costing them 70,000. Like you put a label, you've seen those rectangular labels, the one that used to go on the windshield or on the side window with the barcode on it. I used to put one of those on the key sets, and there was a big printer next to me, and he used to spit these labels out at me, and I used to put one on every single key. And then they went from like that big rectangle sticker to a little QR code sticker, like the size of a postage stamp. And they were like, we just saved $100,000 because we switched stickers. That's how much volume they were running to a smaller sticker. So the camera thing, I mean, there probably could be like cameras strategically placed, but the union would never allow that much like surveillance directly on that many people. There's still cameras in like robotic areas and stuff like that where maybe some sealant's being applied to a windshield or something. There's probably a camera in there.
Okay.
They'll probably just move to more robots building the cars anyways.
I mean, it sounds like a nightmare. It sounds like every problem you could offer a solution to it, but then there's a bigger reason why the solution doesn't work.
Bro, Raphael just texted me as like, tell DS to stop making me sound like a bad trainer. That's some fun. I love when you
Yeah,
guys
that was like
text me on the
that was one of the
outside.
best training experience I had with Raphael.
That's so funny.
Okay.
Very, very startly time there.
I was wondering, I'm like, the keys. I'm like, what the hell were you doing with the keys?
I don't even want to know, man. So they come out of this printer and they're all in the line. And you got to put the sequence VIN number and stuff on the keys and like put them in the truck. But if you are not paying attention for some reason and you miss one and you don't catch it, it could be 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. You just messed up 30 trucks. They're out of sequence. So 30 units are out of sequence and somebody's got to go back behind you and fix everyone. And they went all over the place. Like you put a key over here in a box, that box went somewhere else. Everyone's got the wrong stuff. Everyone's got the wrong labels. What a freaking nightmare.
Oh. Well, I mean, it happened because the truck that I did the winch on, one side of the bed said trimmer, the other side of the bed had the blacked out FX4 logos. What the hell? The 6.7 high output badge was crooked, and the one on the passenger door was about to fall off because it wasn't adhered on the back side of the unbelievable.
I can see that stuff happening like that.
Wait till you start getting parts from field service engineers from the depot.
There's definitely some training problems in the plant for sure.
Robots are good until they're not.
The thing about the robots is like they make these trucks and people just kind of figure out how to put them together. Like during the launch, they have it all written out, engineered out, planned out, and every single step of that process have been engineered. Where to put your hands, what to do, like every motion almost has been figured out inside of a lab, and then they bring it down. It's all written down, and they bring it down to the assembly, whatever operator, I guess you call them, and they take the book and they throw it away, and then they figure out just how to do it. Because how the heck you gonna write down how to assemble a vehicle inside of a laboratory or inside of behind a desk? They give us all.
I'm pretty sure that place is right beside where I used to work.
Sometimes they write it down real good and it works good and you just follow it. And sometimes they write it down and it don't work good. And you got to reinvent it. And, half the time you got to reinvent it. And that's how the vehicle gets built. They write it down and then the people who build them figure out all that stuff. They figure it out just by like mechanics and ergonomics. And there is a skill to it for sure.
We had a customer who was just got his delivery date for his truck, and he's got a 23 King Ranch. Dude's waited 2 years, and it wound up placing the order, and 22s got canceled or you couldn't put any more orders in with 22. The order banks got closed, and then wound up having to wait for a 23. And he's coming out of a 15 with 490,000 on the original turbo EGR cooler, trans, def system. The only thing he's had replaced is the CP4. So it's I mean, I hope he's going to be happy with it. I think he's going to be in for a big surprise because it's going to be completely different than what the 6.7 he's got now. I would weld chain to the pipes to stop the saw. That's awesome.
That's how you do it. Yeah, get like 3/8 or half-inch chain and wrap it around the pipe and weld it all together. You're not cutting through that. That'll take you all night.
Ray, could you protect your taillights with anti-theft screws?
Someone's stealing your taillights?
Hmm.
Man, if you guys are getting your taillights stolen, then I think the solution is U-Haul.
U-Haul.
Yeah, leave. Get out of there. If they're stealing
Oh.
taillights from your car, get out of there, man. You're in the wrong neighborhood. You could put in tamper-proof Torx for an anti-theft screw. That's like the Torx screw that has a little pin in the middle of it. I mean, it wouldn't stop a really good thief or anybody with a toolkit, but it would keep them from unscrewing your taillights.
What they call those, the security torques or something like that.
Dirty, yeah. I would move.
You could get some EP.
Don't listen to me. I get bad
bits.
advice. Yeah, don't move. Don't move because I said so. It's crazy.
We're full, don't come.
I'm leaving. We're going to Alaska. Ray said so.
I saw taillights are hot. I'm like, oh yeah. And even if you lock your tailgate, they're somehow going through like the crack of the tailgate and the bed with the freaking flat blade screwdriver. It can pop he can do a quick recon
You
and
can
pop down the tailgate.
What you do is you rent a space somewhere in a better part of town, and then you park your nice cars there, and then you drive like a 96 Honda Civic, and then you drive that to the parking lot, then you switch it out for your nice car. That way you never take your nice car home. That way no one can steal.
I like that. I like that.
Like undercover beater. Yep.
I like that.
Oh, the DeLorean is not my DeLorean. It's a customer's DeLorean.
Mm-hmm.
I have no interest in buying a 1981 DeLorean.
Yeah, isn't it crazy though how crappy vehicles drove back then? Because I can't
my
imagine
God.
it drove any different back then. It drove
like
crappy then, it drove crappy
go-kart.
now.
It was like a go-kart with a 5-speed.
Oh man,
That was top of the line back then, though.
I know.
That's
But
top
I
tier.
know that.
it had no power. It was manual steering. The brakes were super spongy. It was top heavy and long, so it didn't turn anywhere. It just kind of rolled, and then it was like driving a boat. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Just driving a boat.
You would think though, because it was so low, that it would. I think it would have a low center of gravity, but it did feel like it was gonna.
Yeah, but the body roll on it was horrible. I'm like, yeah.
That's crazy.
S-rated tires, no thanks. Yeah, big old sidewalls on them. S-rated, huge sidewall tires just rolling over in a corner.
Funny.
Good.
That's some Uniroyal tiger paws.
Yeah, for
King Ranch. Claymores. Just remember, towards the enemy.
yeah, they're labeled.
Springfield Armory.
Who still buys from them after all their anti-gunness?
Yeah.
Speaking of
wasn't there a
sports cars.
safety system where they gave up the code?
That was
That's what they-
Liberty.
That was Liberty Safe. Yeah.
Y'all remember the Fieros?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's what. Yeah, it was like driving a Fiero. but a longer one with less horsepower.
My cousin had a Fiero. It's crazy. Like the headlights popped up.
Yep.
Yep. Like MR2.
Yeah.
It's like
MR2.
They only came-
mid.
they only came in red. That's the only color I ever saw.
They were only made from like 84 to 88.
My dad had a white Fiero.
What year?
I don't remember. I remember drifting it in the rain.
I always
On
wanted
purpose?
to build a
Mid-engine disaster.
Definitely not on purpose. I hit a white stripe and I said, well, I'm going sideways, so I'm just going to have fun in this intersection.
The Mythbusters took a Fiero and skipped it across the pond.
He had one in 84.
84.
Wow. Yeah, I never messed around with those. I had a buddy that had one, but fortunately didn't have to. I saw a yellow Fiero. My cousin's was black.
I guess it was
Looks
just
like-
red around here because he said they came in many colors, but everybody I knew that had one had a red one. So, or it was multicolored, I guess, from being in all the accidents. Got a green fender and one red tail or headlight, and one yellow one.
How about those mods we did over the weekend?
Yeah. Dude, got some incredible mileage going back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, incredible mileage. 21.7 and distance
what-
to empty over 1400.
Oh my
Rowdy,
goodness.
didn't you get something like that too? Or was yours like 1100?
1,400 miles is
I get about 21 to the gallon, and I peak out at about like 1250 to empty, but it's variable. But yeah,
Yeah, I knew it was up there.
That's pretty impressive.
S&B 68 gallon DCR. What else did we do? We did a pusher. We did some HSM. We did a bunch of banks. Did a bunch of PPE and just some maintenance and just gave them the 4 scan over and got the def percentage DPF percentage pulled up. And this guy came from Virginia and was super stoked to get his truck his truck modded out. And everybody who comes from downside, don't start smiling, Mr. Ray, working on these Fox body Mustangs, go, oh, I'm gonna take this fuel tank down. I'm like, this motherfucker ain't gonna put the thing back up. Are you kidding me? Everybody who comes from down south is there. You guys' vehicles are such a pleasure to work on. It really is. Like I don't know where this exists in the world. And you guys, I'm like, what? Where did this thing come from?
It's everywhere. Aaron said to me later on, he's like, I was looking over at you trying to take this fuel tank down. He said he was thinking to himself, Ray is so screwed. It's never going to go back. You're like, it's never going back in. He's so screwed. And then like a half hour later on, bolt the thing back up. And he walks over like, what did you do? I'm like, I put the fuel tank back in. What are you talking about?
Self-tappers or something?
Yeah, I'm like, no, it's just bolted right back up. I didn't know what he was talking about. I had no idea that he was like amazed that he took a fuel tank down.
Oh,
yeah. Russ, we don't have that.
1989. I'm like, dude,
I mean, you've seen my truck, you've seen Erica's car, and you know damn well those wheel wells rot right out.
I know.
And those first gen escapes. And that thing's brand new underneath.
Russ, we don't have that. We have heat.
Like, where do you think that it stops? Is it like Southern Ohio? You think that stops? Like, where do you think like that line is?
Georgia.
It's got to be in Tennessee.
Really? I was going to say Tennessee or Kentucky, right?
Tennessee still gets snow though.
It stops.
It depends on what part.
Here's where it stops in states that don't dump salt. And was it calcium or something? What else do they dump out?
Sodium calcium chloride.
Magnesium chloride, all of it.
They dump salt.
Basically, if you live in the Blue Ridge Mountains, like up through the you're gonna have it. They're in north.
They don't really have it up in the mountains either. They
Where
don't
you
really
live?
have a whole lot of rust. I don't live in the mountains. I'm only like 4 or 5 hours from there, but they don't really see a whole lot of rust either.
What was your favorite one that we tackled, DS?
My favorite one.
Where'd you go? How come we can't see you?
I'm just right here. I'm laying down. Hold up. What was my favorite?
Wait, do you have your clothes on?
I got a shirt only.
He's got a snuggie. Man, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this. I don't.
Only.
I'm not sure what you're doing over there, dude.
I want that Milwaukee shirt.
It's Milwaukee.
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 That's from Wayne's World. I love that movie.
Excellent.
We're not worthy.
I have to say my favorite one was the.
You're
freaking
worthy. You're
fuel
worthy.
tank.
Get up.
That was my favorite one, was the fuel tank, because I did most of the fuel tank taking it out.
That was a big mother.
And it was easy. I got
And
some diesel
68
fuel.
gallons are no joke. They are huge. Standing up, I mean, it's from floor to the ceiling in a basement. They're tall.
What's
Yeah.
that?
What's a
Uh,
basement?
Oh, yeah. A 68 gallon S&B fuel tank.
That short you put out was funny, where it showed him sitting on the tailgate step. Doing the
Yeah,
number
that
two.
was that. Well, that was actually my truck.
Yeah, no. But you were talking about the tailgate step.
That was his super duty bench, which we were eating lunch on the back of the truck, and I'm kind of folded down. But it actually worked out kind of.
Ford's
good.
got the best tailgate stuff.
What's up? My coworker showed me what's up with this new F-150 and this like tri-fold tailgate. Has anybody seen anything about that?
I seen it for a second on
It like
YouTube.
opens up like a barn door and folds
Hey
down or
guys,
something.
Rich is here. He said he's sorry for not making it. He was doing something with
Word.
his business partner. You're all good, man. It's cool. You coming in later?
No, bro, I miss you. You should have been here.
Seriously, man. We were wondering.
DS looks up to you, man.
Yeah, man. Where was you?
Rob, what are you talking about with the sidestep? My sidesteps? I need context. I'm slow on the uptake.
Anybody know a good masseuse?
No.
I think Rob's talking about the one where you like, where you hit the side and then it comes down or something. Isn't one of them fold down or something
I think so.
on the GM?
Rob, yeah, I think Rob has that on his truck. Is that what he's talking about? You like put your
I
foot
think
on
so.
it, you tap
Yeah.
it, it comes down for you. Yeah. You kick the back button. Electronic side steps. How much are those things?
Like $2
Was it
grand, depending on if they're
or
dual
is it-
motor or
Nah.
it plugs into the OBD and
Okay.
What, the
it's
amp
got to know
one?
when the amp steps.
I wonder what them OEM ones cost.
I don't even know, but that would be a really good.
Glove box
Yeah, I
lock
know.
removal.
I don't
You
know.
gotta take the cover off glove box. It's not like the old ones where you stick the key in and you turn it. It's got a little tab. You have to take the outer skin off and it comes out through the back.
Yeah, he needs to take the lock off the whole barrel.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to take the skin off the front of the glove box and you have to go through the backside. The old school ones, like on the Ranger and stuff like that, you put the key in and you lift the handle up and you turn the key and there's a little lock. You push the lock in, you can pull the whole barrel out. On the 23s, you have to take the skin off and then flip it over upside down and you can push the barrel out.
There you go. There's your answer. Somebody was just asking about that on Facebook or somebody messaged me.
Rich and I were talking about that earlier.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. He says, how do you take the skin off?
With a saw.
It snaps in.
Kidding.
Yeah, don't use a saw.
Don't do what I don't. Yeah, don't listen to me.
Don't do a
Get some
clippy.
Get some panel poppers, the plastic panel removers, and you're going to slide it into the side and it pops out just like trim.
Now that we're getting to these colder days, if
Huh?
is it not, well, you guys aren't familiar with those. What if you had a chance to add supplemental heat to your truck that didn't come with it, and you don't have to pull the dash?
Well, I'd be curious of how much work would be involved.
It is something that is going to ride off the front end accessory drive, which is also the belt. And it is going to be able to make heat very, very rapidly. And what is even cooler, it is using coolant to make the heat, and it's transferring that heat, that kinetic energy, that heat transfer right back into the coolant, which is heating our passenger compartment. So we're not, pardon me?
That's how it works?
Yeah, it's like a torque converter setup. We have one that stays stationary and one that spins. It's got a drive on with a drive on. It has a drive like an AC clutch, so it can be on and off. And it throws the coolant just like fluid in a torque converter, and when it shears itself, I guess if you want to slow it down for the sake of argument, it creates friction, and that friction is multiplied because of its drive unit and its ability to make heat. And they had two trucks that had one, and one that had the stock grid heater, the one that's you guys saw me cut out and transfer over in that dash of that 23. And it went from 22 degrees blowing out of the dash to like 131 in like almost 4 minutes. And it was pretty dang impressive. It would pretty much be like adding the secondary generator onto a truck that only has the single, because that is where this contraption is going to be sitting. And it's got a quick disconnect that goes to the heater core, and you unclip your heater core hose and clip this onto their pipe.
So this is not a factory system?
It's not.
Who made this?
This is a company called Ventec. And this is something they've had for the school buses and generators and forklifts, and they've developed it for now pickup truck applications. They have it for the Duramax, the Cummins, and now the 6.7. And it's only going to be for diesel application because we need heat. We work on heat of combustion, and also they're seeing a benefit with having for the after treatment, because some of these vehicles, and especially these generators that people run and may not achieve the full capacity and only have to plug in a toaster oven, these emission systems wind up getting loaded up and choking out the engine because they never get up to operating temperature. So they've been having it retrofitted to these generators from like Kohler and other generator companies I can't think off the top of my head. And they put these on and helped to generate heat. It's a liquid heat generator, and it's all by using coolant. There's no electricity other than power and ground going to the AC type clutch on the front of it. It's got a little brain you plug in, and yeah, right there. The Ventex sits right over the vacuum pump. That's correct. And
But you only can have one alternator.
correct. Yes, Porch Monkey. That's correct.
So it's basically a little module that's got a stator and some vanes attached to a shaft that runs off your belt. It's clutch, so you can command it on and off.
Yep.
And it's connected in line with your heater core hose. And so when this thing actuates, it pumps fluid through at a high pressure against the stator, causes a bunch of fluid friction, or it puts work into the fluid, as Gail Banks would say. So it puts
Correct.
work into the fluid, which is heat energy. So it heats it up, sends it to your heater core. So your heater core is hot way before your engine even starts to move in temperature. That's what this,
and well, it's actually bringing the engine temperature
because
closed loop fuel control.
Returns going back to your intake or wherever, however it's plumbed, and that's going to raise engine temp, that's awesome.
That's what you want, and it shuts off when it gets up to operating temperature. And like they had a graph. I think I took a picture of it. They had a graph, of the stock truck, and it, reaching operating temperature, and it's, really slow. And then it gets up to the top, and it's kind of doing this at the top, and it's never kind of, at 180 degrees or 200 degrees. Well, the Ventec one, it immediately shot right up to operating temperature, did a couple of little whipples, and then stabilized at the operating temperature that the truck is normally supposed to be at. So I am very interested in seeing it in real life, not I know it's in real life, but I'm saying real life in my hands. And trucks that have single alternators will be the perfect candidates for this. So any 6, 7, 11 to current model year, really. More marketed for the Illuma duties. But I don't see why it wouldn't work for the 11 through 16s, because it's essentially the same bracketry and holes in the front cover and the head.
So this thing probably how does it get its coolant temperature? Does it have a probe that goes into the coolant?
Yep, it's got a coolant sensor in the body of the pump, the coolant generator, the liquid heat generator.
It's not going to be plugged into the system of the truck, the electronic system.
No, completely separate from it. There's no instrumentation or anything. You can opt for that, but there is, the basic kit. There's no instrumentation or anything.
It's going to operate old school with a sensor in the coolant, and
it's either on or it's off,
like a thermostat.
Yep, it was a considerable change, even if the truck had the supplemental heat from the factory. So when it gets,
I thought you were going to tell us how you can install that system, supplemental heat factor.
You'd have to pull the dash.
Pull the dash, put the harness in, and everything. It's good times. Or scan.
And after seeing this, I don't think the OEM one is worth 2 shits.
I mean, I never really noticed. I've had the OEM one, and I've never. If it gets cold out and you idle your truck, you need to idle your truck. It's gonna be cold. Your coolant's your HVAC's gonna blow cold air. Your coolant's gonna be cold.
I mean, you could always add a diesel heater too. the guys that I watch on YouTube that travel the world in their Overlander has a diesel coolant heater. Just runs off the exhaust aux port on the tank.
I'm gonna be reaching out to one of you guys in the community who's obviously going to be local, unless you want to make the trip. I mean, that's totally up to you. But I'd like to
Sean's
get,
lost.
No, I'm trying to wrap my head around a diesel coolant heater.
It's a diesel coolant heater. It's a heater that has coolant going through it, and it runs off diesel
It's
fuel.
tied into the exhaust.
It's just dumped out wherever you dump out the exhaust for it. It's
So
got
it's
its
like a
own
heated
little.
cylinder.
It's its own little heater.
It's a
But
little heated cylinder that takes heat from the exhaust and puts it back into the
No,
coolant?
it's a little heater that runs off diesel fuel,
Oh.
and coolant runs through it, and you can run it at any
Okay,
time.
now I got you. So
You
it's
can run it with a truck off, truck on.
totally separate heater. Where in the truck would you put it? Like where?
They
on the
put it
6.7
in. They put it in their wheel well, but
in the rear.
rear in the wheel well in the front.
In the back
But
of the
this is on a
front.
7.3.
Oh, like an older 7.3.
Yeah, but still, it's the same process. You run the coolant hose through it, and you can run it at any time. So even at night, you can run it.
The heater heats up the coolant, so it's keeping the engine
whole-
warm.
The whole engine, everything. They're expensive though.
Sounds expensive.
I can see the cogs in DS's head just trying to grasp this very
No, I got it now. I was thinking
fundamental.
Another heater, like a freaking reefer unit or something.
Hey, Aaron, you want to screen share so I can show him this glove box faceplate?
Oh wow, the Chinese knocked it off now. It's only like $300.
For
One of those diesel heaters.
oh,
They're like $1,200 normally.
How many BTUs is it?
Snaps in around here.
are you talking about what we were talking about?
If they even tell
No.
you.
Same
Oh
thing.
yeah, he said it's equivalent to about 40,000 BTUs.
Dang.
But they were
That's-
talking in kilowatts and all this.
Is that the guy that made the one that goes in the
Gigawatt.
place of the alternator? That's 40.
I wanted to say that too, and I was just like, how do I do two?
This says thermal output 5 kilowatts. It uses 0.42 liters of fuel an hour.
40,000 BTUs is a lot.
How much
of
is
heat.
0.42 liters? Is that what's that
Point
equal?
42
Gallons. How many gallons?
I can't compute liters. I'm just not a leader. I got
You get
quarts.
4 liters in a gallon. So per hour, that's not a lot. of fuel per
Not
hour.
exactly.
It's
Not
like
exactly.
16 ounces.
It's
Probably.
0.004 gallons per minute.
It's 0.42 liters is
Per hour is
0.11 gallons. So
I mean,
But that's less than the 40,000 BTUs that you can get from the other system that A-Rod was talking about. 40,000
I don't
BTUs?
We don't need it down here. We get like one cold day in Florida.
that only
liter
happened-
cola.
that only happened once in 2008.
when you all had that freeze, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the snook were floating in all the canals, and the FWC said we could go out and pick them up. 'Cause they
What
were
were floating in the canals?
snook,
Snook.
very very tasty and regulated fish.
It's like the saltwater bass.
Yeah,
Dude.
an illegal snook will cost you about $5,000 plus your boat and your truck and your trailer.
For
See, we were-
real?
They don't mess
Yeah.
around and get caught with
Equipment.
illegal fish. Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't.
We
you
went down
touch
there.
the water.
We went down to grandma's house one year and we were out there snook fishing. They were out of season, but they were running. So you just we were using jig heads, man. Joop, joop, just catching them left and right, kind of throw them back, man. And they were like 16, 18 inches long. Just throw them back.
No, why? You eat
Yeah.
those?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh yeah, they're good.
We call them the $5,000 sandwich.
Oh.
You like sheep's head?
Mm-mm.
Red snapper?
Good. Yep.
Yeah, red snapper.
I
Oh
like
yeah.
red snapper.
I like pink snapper.
Red
You can't
snapper.
say
I
that.
bet you do.
You can't say that.
You just did.
Yeah, I just
Well,
seen
yeah,
that
oh, yeah,
liter
I know that's
or
the joke.
litra. I just
Bro.
It's
saw
so-
a 6.6 Trans Am and it was spelled LITRE on the hood. And I kind of was looking at it, I'm like, I remember when they used to do that. Look at that. You know you're a mechanic when you grab a tool to scratch your back.
I got it.
I fucking got it.
Yeah, see, this is why you never throw away a tool. See, this crescent wrench has been crustified with
Oh.
oxidation, right? And it doesn't come free. I've been working on it for like a year. However, it still has a function, and that was just
I've been working on it for like a year, you know.
Vortex, send him some of that spray from Amsoil, some of that lubricant
I'll
for
send
that
some.
ring.
I
What's
mean,
that stuff called? Beard Vortex, that lubricant?
Which one? There's a lot of them.
The one that'll free that wrench up.
There's
Ever
a lot
heard
of them.
Pro Lube?
Not the HD protector. Not the HD one.
Silicone
the other
spray. You got the
one. No, the
pew
one that's
pew
oil.
lube and cleaner.
What?
the pew
Pew
pew,
pew. The freedom seeds.
the freedom seed dispenser.
Freedom Seeds.
I'm wrenching on myself. Kevin got it. Yep, I fixed
Yeah.
myself.
He's just wrenching on himself, on himself.
There's
while
some
I-
penetrating oil though.
Ugh. I will say that sometimes listening to DS has a benefit.
Well,
How
of course
so?
it does.
Put a little bit of trans fluid right on the lip of that seal. Bro, that shit slid right in. I'm like, man, I'm not going to use trans. Just use trans fluids. I'm not going to just use trans. Bloop.
When I was a kid, I used to always be wrenching and messing with cars and freaking in the garage by myself, wrenching on just the craziest stuff. I had a 92 Infiniti and I was just always messing with the injectors, trying to get the O-rings to fit on the injectors. And the only thing that I found that really worked wasn't motor oil, wasn't no kind of other spray or anything. It was transmission oil. I mean, what's more slippery that you can just grab off the what's more slippery? It's transmission oil.
I'm
Is that what you're thinking? No.
Like everybody's got one in mind.
No, it's not. It's not. It's transmission oil is more slippery than what you're thinking.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's not.
It's
No,
not.
it's not.
No, it's
I
not.
guarantee you it is. And you can't test them side by side because there's skull and crossbones on the transmission valve. So you can't be doing what you want to do with that. You gotta.
I mean, I bet you could do like a Project Farm style comparison to find out which one is better.
I'd like to see that.
And you probably, I mean, it is transmission fluid, so you probably don't want to use that on like biological material. So
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You don't. So whatever Bearded Vortex is laughing about, you can't even use.
no, it's not just him. It's me and A-Rod and how many people are in here? 140 something.
No,
Yeah,
I'm willing to bet. No
everybody-
BS though. I'm willing to bet that transmission oil is much more lubricating, much more than freaking KY. Like it's like no comparison.
I'm not even thinking about
No BS, no comparison. Transmission wins, hands down.
I don't think so. I don't think that it's that slick. I think it's designed to
Telling
not.
you it's slick, man.
I see.
ATS is freaking slick.
I know, but it's not. Its purpose is not to be that lubricant. It's a hydraulic oil, so
It's made for those clutches and those steel.
I mean, I know, but
now.
I think its primary design feature is to prevent foaming up, because nobody likes foaming up in your transmission. So what?
I can tell you this. How much silicone
Lubricity is not. We need to look up the spec sheets. I got to call my BG guy.
Well, here's the thing: when it comes to the motor oil versus trans oil is going to be much more slippery. It's just not going to stand up to combustion inside of an engine. So you can't run it.
It works
for
great as a combustion inside the engine. I can
If you're-
confirm that.
Yeah, if you're burning it, but not if you're using it for lubrication. It ain't going to stand up to that. Now you can't put it in the crankcase for the engine. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. It'll burn.
Hey,
it up.
hey, hey.
What's up, guys?
Eric, no, dude, run. This conversation's going down like the Hindenburg, man. Bad time to show up.
Rick, I think you would agree with me.
All right, hit me.
Transmission oil, transmission fluid. is
Yeah,
a really good
Can you think
lubricant.
of
You can-
anything more slick than transmission fluid?
gear oil.
That's it.
Nah.
I mean, brake fluid.
I mean, you don't want to be grinding you don't want to grind your gears, that's for sure.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Grinds my gears.
Oh shit.
Whose shop has been open the longest? Probably Eric's.
2000. Hold on. 2008. 2008.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he's playing for the Ocho.
Wow. That's impressive.
New York sucks got it.
Yeah, but
His wife got it.
Spray dries up too fast. I don't like
No,
silicone.
I pour it on the ground, right? If I pour it on the ground, what's going to make you fall down the worst? It's transmission. Worse
Yeah.
than gear.
Well, it
If you
depends on
slip
what the
Nothing
ground.
ATS,
Wait, are
concrete.
you assuming
You
that I
walk
would
on-
just walk through a pile of transmission fluid like some
Which one you want to walk by?
First
Which one
off,
would you rather
we
walk
all
in?
wear non-slip shoes, not like
Yeah.
shoes that we can't fall down in, right? We would never wear
Yeah.
anything else.
True.
while
think-
working on
True.
cars.
I think if you're wearing non-slip shoes, I'm talking new transmission oil, no grit.
Yeah.
If it's on the ground, I think you're gonna slip.
Well, I think it depends on the person, because if the person is like, it depends on how they're shaped and their balance and how old they are. Is it windy that day?
What's the friction coefficient of the surface that the transmission fluid is resting on?
How many
That's
steps
true.
have they taken on their shoes? How worn are their shoes? What's
Yeah,
the
are
depth
they
on their
weak
shoes?
old shoes? Or are they brand new out of the box? Or are they?
Were they-
I'm not
Were they
gonna-
hush
I don't
What
think
is the
puppies?
gear-
ambient
I don't
air
think
temperature?
gear oil though. I don't
What
think
is-
There's a
gear
lot of
oil.
factors
What about the
here.
relative humidity?
Were they
All
Brooks
these-
brothers? Brothers Brooks.
You guys, I mean, this
There's
is so hard to
many
answer.
variables.
You've got the Coriolis effect. I mean, everything is involved in this. I don't know if we can calculate this. We need Project
What
Wow. I really do. Yeah.
are Crocs non-slip?
If you bought the off-road versions, they are.
Oh, I know we went afield a little bit, but when we were working on this truck, we didn't have the silicone spray that we usually use. And we could put like instead of just soaking it with that silicone stuff, you could put a dab of ATF in it, barely any, and it just bloop. What's that noise it makes?
That pop. It's like when you pull a coil out. When you pull a coil out,
Oh,
of
yeah.
the spark plug goes funk.
Yeah, yeah.
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 You see Porch
Just put
Monkey's comment?
Dab. You don't even need a lot of it. Kind of like a
Yeah.
like
It's like
that. That's the noise.
yeah.
The puns have started in the comments.
When
Cookies what?
when I do my teardowns, that sound when I pull coils out, I always ramp the volume at 400%, so that way it's as loud as possible, that sound. And I usually cut out all the space in between, so it sounds like you're firing a bubble gun.
You isolate that sound, huh?
I do. It's fun.
Pretty fun.
Oh, you know what? You drinking the Mexican Cokes again. I have been fiending for them and I ain't even got none. Damn.
Costco. They got them by the case, man.
Damn.
Ray picked me up a case.
Yeah, Aaron,
Damn.
come down here. I'll give you a case. I'll buy you one. Buy you a case.
Oh. Oh.
I wonder how much it costs to mail those.
Oh, we got them.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple like Mexican places that have no English speaking menus or people that work there, and you can get the real Mexican Cokes there. They also have really good
Yeah.
food. I feel like it's like a thing. If you run a Mexican restaurant and you can't speak English, the food is good. I've never been to one where those parameters were set and the food was bad.
Down here in Florida, the sketchier the place looks, the better the food is.
Better it is.
Oh,
Don't
Yeah,
forget
yeah.
the food trucks. Don't forget the
Yeah, that's what
overload.
I'm talking about.
Oh
like
yeah.
the food trucks that look really sketchy.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
a
the truck's a piece of junk, but they stay up all night cooking the food and preparing for the
Yeah.
next day. Like that's
Yeah.
good stuff.
there was a guy that that asked me for a 6.2 diesel, like the old school GM 6.2 diesel for one of those step vans. And I was like, dude, just throw it away. He goes, I can't. I built it's my food truck. He's like, I got like 80 grand in this thing. I can't throw it away.
He needs
damn.
to Duramax swap it.
He didn't want to do anything like that. He just wanted to take his bad engine out and put a good engine in. And I was like, well, you're buying a new engine. You're buying a reman then, because I can't get. Are there good used 6.2s? Is that a real thing? Because I don't think that's a real thing.
I didn't know there were good new 6.2s.
I know.
I'm sorry, man. Like 140 something horsepower, we're good.
It's like
No.
100. I think it's like 130 or 140. I
Yeah,
rode
it's
a
bad.
buddy. A buddy of mine had a square body crew cab 2-wheel drive with a 6.2 in it, and I'm pretty sure I could outrun him through an intersection on a bicycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It was terrible.
but you can swap it out with the 6.5 with the turbo and make 5 pounds of boost and 170 horsepower.
Oh yeah, you really feel that come in.
Oh,
And hey, and then you can
one.
turn it up and break the crankshafts.
Yeah, yep.
They don't do that though. That
Yeah.
never.
I guess they were good in marine applications, right?
I don't know. We don't. Well, I guess we do boats
Yeah,
here.
I heard they were really good marine applications, and they did just fine in boats. But-
Really?
Well, think about it. A marine engine, you can run the timing up on it, especially a diesel,
Mhm.
and it's only making power in under load. at,
Yeah.
1800 RPM. So they can build everything about how that engine operates based on its known load, its atmospheric pressure, because it's sitting at sea level. It's a boat, so it's always at sea level.
Yeah.
So they know that there's less variables in there. It has unlimited cooling because it gets its water from the ocean.
That's right.
So it stands to reason they could turn up the power on the thing and
Yeah.
let it run all day long because
Yeah. As long as the bottom end can hold it, I mean that's all
Yeah.
that matters. I remember this dude was parting out his old square body with a 6.2 and it had a Banks Sidewinder kit on it. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, so how much power did this add? He's like 30 horsepower.
Ooh.
I was like, he's like, yeah, but it's like 30 horsepower everywhere. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, I know some cars that like a set of long tubes and a tune makes more than that.
I bet you could get more than 30 horsepower with an electric motor strapped to the alternator bracket runoff.
Yeah.
Accessory
Yeah,
belt. You could just be like flip that and bam, electric.
Yeah,
super
you probably
electric.
could. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, those old power adders, man, that were something else. I had a Fiat 124 Spider. I actually had two of them, and one of them was a turbo one. There was like this company that would buy a factory one, paint them, put these decals on them, and put a turbo kit on them. And it made them go from like 108 horsepower to 130 horsepower. And I was like, wow. Oh, okay.
It's like
I mean,
your first car upgrade on Gran Turismo. You can afford a muffler, so you gained 9 horsepower.
Yeah.
You can put
I
an
can
intake
afford a muffler.
or more horsepower.
Mm-hmm. Those were the days.
I almost want to get a PS5 or whatever one is out just so I can get Gran Turismo. Is it 5 or 6 PS5?
PS7.
There's 5 of them.
Is it 5 right now?
Yeah, it's
7.
5. 7?
7.
7.
I don't
Seven.
pay. I haven't gotten into any of that stuff in probably 8 years. I'd love to, but I just don't have time.
Yeah.
I used to play Grand Theft Auto with all my friends, and we'd try to break the game. It was like our goal is how can we break this? So we made it a goal to try to stop the train in Grand Theft Auto. We'd steal a whole bunch of semis and park sideways in front of the train tunnel. It never worked, but it was fun trying.
Great.
Yeah.
I missed Gran Grand Theft Auto. I miss video games. I haven't played in like 2 years.
Hey guys, not everybody played Gran Turismo though.
That's
Well,
true.
I mean,
I have an NES that's real fun.
Turbo
Play
kit.
some
I
play
wish
some
somebody
Excite
would,
Bike.
I wish turbo kit, somebody to have a turbo kit for 2020. I don't know anybody that has turbos for 2020.
hmm.
Somebody make a turbo for 2020 because I want to put one on.
You could grab a 23 turbo.
Eh,
Kind of whack or no? It's got that cooling.
I mean,
eh,
you can go non-VGT.
eh. All right, we getting the after party started. Everybody, thanks
We're
so
done.
much. I'm fading. I'm fading into the mist. I'm fading. We appreciate you hanging out every Wednesday. DS, he's gonna sing his little lullabies. He's gonna say his prayers. He's gonna wash his face and hands and brush his teeth.
You're faking it.
Poor little guy.
He's faking it for his character. That's what he's doing.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out. Make sure to hit that like and don't forget to subscribe. See ya.